A 1,400-year-old book described bees in a way that wouldn't make complete scientific sense until centuries later. Let's go to the source. Surah An-Nahl, the bee, chapter 16, ayat 68 and 69. Allah says, "And your Lord revealed to the bee, take for yourself among the mountains, houses, and among the trees, and in that which they construct. Then eat from all the fruits, and follow the ways of your Lord laid down for you. From their bellies comes a drink of varying colors, in which there is healing for people. Indeed, in that is a sign for a people who give thought." 4 things are happening in these ayat that most people completely miss. The ayah opens, "Wa auha rabbuka il-an-nahl." Auha. Your Lord revealed to the bee. This is the same root word used for divine revelation to the prophets. Wahi. Allah is not saying He created the bee's instinct and left it running. He is saying He actively communicates with the bee. An ongoing directional guidance, the same word used for Jibreel descending with Quranic verses. The bee is operating under a living command. That detail alone should stop you cold. This is the one. In Arabic, verbs are gendered, masculine and feminine. It affects the entire sentence structure. When Allah commands the bee in these ayat, take, eat, follow, every single verb is in the feminine form. For centuries, this seemed like a small grammatical note. Commentators acknowledged it, moved on. Then, in the 1800s, science caught up. It turns out, every bee that leaves the hive to build, forage, and collect is female. The architects of the honeycomb, the ones following those exact commands in the ayah, are all female. The Quran used feminine verbs in the 7th century for a grammatical fact that biology would confirm over 1,000 years later. The ayah says, the drink, honey, comes from their bellies, butuniha, not from flowers, not from nectar alone. For a long time, people assumed honey was just collected nectar stored in a comb, simple transport. Modern science tells a different story. Bees collect nectar, yes, but they carry it in a specialized internal organ called the honey stomach, separate from their digestive stomach. Inside this organ, enzymes break down complex sugars. The bee passes the nectar between workers repeatedly. Each transfer adds more enzymes, reduces water content. The hive then fans it with their wings until moisture drops below 18%. What emerges isn't just stored nectar, it's been processed internally, biologically transformed inside the bee's body. The Quran said from their bellies, and it was more accurate than any casual observer would have said. Fihi shifa'un linnas. In it is healing for people. Not, it tastes good. Not, it has nutritional value. Healing. Modern research has validated this in ways that would fill a separate video entirely. Honey's antibacterial properties come from hydrogen peroxide released during its enzymatic activity. It has been used in clinical wound care. Manuka honey is now used in hospital dressings in parts of the UK and Australia. Studies have documented anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and antioxidant properties. What strikes scholars is the word shifa. It's the same word used in the Quran for the Quran itself being a cure. A serious, weighty word, shifa, healing. And the ayah says for people, not just Muslims, not just believers. The honey doesn't check your aqidah or faith before it works. The chapter is called An-Nahl, not honey, not medicine, not a sign, the bee. Allah named an entire chapter of His book after this creature, and then embedded in 2 ayat a biological map of its behavior so precise that it took humanity over 1,000 years of science to catch up to what was already written. The ayah ends, indeed, in that is a sign for a people who give thought. Yatafakkarun, people who reflect. people who think carefully. The sign isn't hidden. It never was. The question the Quran keeps asking isn't, "Did you hear it?" It's, "Did you actually think about it?"